Welcome to episode 204 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here, and this is the debut episode of the year 2019.
Here we are, first episode of the year.
This is officially the fifth calendar year that we've recorded a podcast in.
Pretty fucking awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
It's weird to say that, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah. And we're kicking the year off with a bang with three of the members of Junkyard.
Yes.
Couldn't ask for anything better.
No, I mean,
unless Dimebag was going to come back and join the podcast or something.
Cliff Burton, whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is a bucket list band for us, and we finally got to see him, and more than that, we got to talk to him, and it was great, and y'all are going to hear it here in a little bit.
And speaking of Junkyard, they were here in town about a little under a month ago with LA Guns, and that show was a DEB Concerts production. And guess what?
Yep.
They're our sponsor.
Exactly.
This week and every week. DEB Concerts, concert promoter based here in the Tulsa area that brings tons of bands from the heyday of the hard rock era of the late 80s, early 90s. They brought in everyone like the two bands I just mentioned, the Sebastian Bach, Tom Kiefer, Jack Russell's Great White, Steelheart, Stryper, Dokken, Warrant, Firehouse, Lita Ford, a ton of other ones, Winger. Very long list, and the list will add one more this February 13th when Saxon.
That's right. The mighty Saxon comes to the Ideal Ballroom. Thank you, DEB Concerts.
Yes. This will be amazing. We're both big fans of this band, and they are an awesome live band, so really excited to see them inside the Ideal Ballroom.
It's going to be crazy. And I can confirm Eddie Trunk is hosting that one.
Okay.
Because I saw a poster with him on it.
So all that stuff you brought up a few weeks ago was just all bullshit.
Yeah, I guess he worked it out, whatever, but
Right.
It's happening. So, because he's on the poster now.
Right on.
So, Eddie Trunk will be there. You should come stump the trunk. You know, ask him something that you might think he might not know. You might stump him.
That's right. Ask him what his fourth favorite album of 2018 is. Because he apparently only had three of them.
He only had three.
Wasn't Judas Priest, so.
He only had three, and people couldn't handle it. They took a shit out of their dick hole about it. You know, how dare he only have three? Guess what? It's a free country. Anyone can do anything. If a motherfucker wants to have three top albums, you need to be cool with it and just, I don't know, go watch, your fucking episodes of Blackish and shut the fuck up. I don't know. But, I mean, it's just, I don't understand why people were so in arms about it, but...
What did you think of the debut episode of The Masked Singer?
It doesn't come on till tonight.
Oh.
Which
by the time they hear this... So...
Well, I can't tell you now, though. I know that
You're going to watch that?
Fuck yeah, I am. It's stupid and it's corny, but there's just some weird fucking thing about... There's just some weird fucking thing that I have to see this. I don't know why.
I'll watch it on YouTube later, probably like the clips of it, but I'm not gonna.
I don't know. I'm not condoning it. Don't get me wrong. It's kind of like, looking at the sun. You should stare away.
That's right.
Look away, excuse me, but you can't just help but stare. So I gotta watch this shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say I'd watch it for my childhood crush, Jenny McCarthy. But
she's part of it?
Yeah, she's one of the judges. But I saw her on one of the New Year's shows the other night, and her face is so Botoxed up, I don't even think it moves anymore. It doesn't even look like her anymore.
Oh man,
it looks like a fucking leather shoe or some shit. Anyways, I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry about that.
Well, back to this show.
Yes,
this show will also feature Mudflux and Down for Five.
Of course,
both great bands from the Tulsa area. Opening up for Saxon, hosted by Eddie Trunk at the Ideal Ballroom, February 13th, 2019. It's going to be fantastic.
What more could you ask for?
You can't ask for much more.
That's right.
Yeah, so once again, thank you to DB Concerts for bringing in these awesome shows and for sponsoring us here on this podcast. All right, before we get into, we've got a lot of stuff we're going to talk about.
We do.
But the first thing, our last episode, last week, was the best of 2018 episode.
Yes.
And every year, there's always a few things that we forget. But thankfully, these things we're going to mention weren't things that would have made the list because, we have kind of since we're a hard rock, heavy metal podcast, we stick to that. And even if it's stuff we love, it's just rock, we kind of got to draw a line somewhere. But we always talk about this stuff that came out that we're huge fans of, like we did with the Interrupters and a few other country artists. A couple huge ones we forgot were Ian Moore and Jim Wilson.
Yes, we did. Those were great fucking records that were put out this year. Ian Moore had an EP called Toronto. And I think it's, I think it was some of the best stuff he'd done in a while.
Yeah.
I mean, if, I know, like, kind of like when we talk about Old Crow Medicine Show or the Interrupters or Coulter Wall, stuff we both like, whatever. I don't know. But like, it's not your usual hard rock metal thing that a lot of the people that listen to this are used to. But, we still have to talk about some stuff we're really digging on. And I think this is some of his best stuff that he's done in a while. That song, You Got to Know My Name, is just fucking awesome. And it rocks too, I mean, forget it. It was just a great fucking collection of songs.
Yeah, every
5
song
or 6
on
songs, something like that.
Yeah. Lords of the Levee. Just the whole thing's great. And like you said, I think it might be my favorite thing since back in the 90s, like And All the Colors.
That's cool. I get that.
But I mean, he's a guy, we've liked everything he's done, and he has a lot of diversity in his music. Like every album's got its own feel, and all of it's great. But just something about this EP just jumped out to me. Yeah, I mean,
he does what he wants. Ian Moore started out as like a blues rock guy, and he's spread out into so many corners. He'll go rock, he'll go kind of an indie sound, he'll get acoustic, and, he's a superb songwriter. So, and this is a great place to start if you want to check him out. So, yeah, the EP is called Toronto. He is called Ian Moore. Check it out.
Another one you need to check out is the album Now Playing by Jim Wilson. This album's fantastic. It's another one you just call straight up rock and roll. And he's a guy that we actually, I didn't mention Ian Moore has been on this podcast probably about a year and a half ago now, maybe 2 at this point. But Jim Wilson was on here just a few months ago in 2018, and he is the lead singer of the supergroup Motor Sister that includes Scotty Ian, and who else is in that? Joey Vera from Armored Saint, and John Tempesta from The Cult, and many other things. Anyway, Jim Wilson fronts that band, and he was also the front man for Mother Superior, and he was in the Rollins band, for a while.
Yeah.
And then he's got this solo music that he did with Phil Jones, and it's just fantastic work of music, in my opinion. This whole thing straight through.
It really is. It's songwriter kind of stuff. It's got a classic rock feel. If you like that kind of thing, this is right up your alley. If you love stuff like, later Ian Moore, or even stuff like, Tom Petty or the Stones.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
I mean, this is just great stuff.
Yeah. So highly recommend you looking up Now Playing. Give this guy a listen. Check it out. And hopefully we'll hear more from Motor Sister in 2019 as well, because it sounds like they're going to be doing something.
I think we are.
And one other thing I wanted to mention, it's out, but not technically out. Depends on the way you look at it. But Damon Johnson's new solo album, Memoirs of an Uprising, says it'll be everywhere in March, but the physical copies, if you order it through his Pledge Music, the vinyl copy or the CD you can get already. And I happen to get that because Jason right here ordered it for me for Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
So you haven't even heard this thing yet.
No, I want to hear it.
So I'm bringing it up because that came out technically in 2018, but since it's not officially out until March, you'll probably hear us talking about this thing again.
Yeah.
Then, and of course, the best of 2019 maybe, because this is definitely good enough to be on the best of list, and it's Damon Johnson going back to his hard rock roots with Brother Kane.
Nice.
Even though he'd never left that because of Black Star Riders, but I just mean as far as his solo work.
Gotcha.
Because his solo work is mainly
it was a lot
acoustic,
of acoustic, yeah.
Just stripped down, laid back. And he's another guy, just like the last two guys we mentioned, that's a fantastic songwriter. He's wrote songs for big-time people. This album is, I think it's like 10 songs, and it's just all killer, no filler.
Good.
You're going to love it when you hear it, I promise you.
Hell yeah.
And I forgot what I was going to say. That joke you made to me about the title. whenever he was a
Oh,
ghostwriter for Damn Yankees or something. But anyway.
oh yeah, it was what the memories from an uprising.
Yeah,
It was about his time
Memoirs.
It was about his short time in Damn Yankees
right.
in the second album, because he was in Damn Yankees for about 5 minutes after the second album, right before they just decided to say, fuck it, we're not going to do this anymore. Like, you can Google it. There's actually pictures of him with Damn Yankees, like in a photo shoot and shit like that. But Jesus, that was like 23 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah. But anyway, Damon Johnson as well
Yes.
as the last two guys was
course.
also on this podcast. Going back in, it was either April or May. Him and Ricky Warwick from the Black Star Riders were on here. We talked about all that stuff. A little bit about Brother Kane and Ricky Warwick solo stuff. So check that one out. That was a really cool one. And Damon Johnson is officially not a member of the Black Star Riders now. He stepped away at the end of 2018. But he's still be involved with Thin Lizzy when they do dates. And
Gotcha.
then, of course, he's got his solo work now.
Yes.
So yeah, check it out. All right, and another thing, I was just going to kind of run through some of the comments from,
Our best of 2018.
Yeah. Everybody's always got their opinions,
Cool.
But, Kevin Williams, who we brought up before, he's mentioned, I hope you guys mentioned Monster Magnet because he said that before he had listened. And, we talked about on that episode, I was kind of, you were surprised and I was surprised it didn't make my list.
Yeah.
Still a great album.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And Jason Carroll chimed in with his top 18 as well, and it included a few bands that weren't on ours.
Okay.
Like Burning Witches, Visigoth, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons.
I need to hear that record. You guys talk about it so much. I don't know. I think I said that in the last one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I brought it up on there because it's a great album, and it's one of the ones I kind of thought would probably be towards the end of my list, but for some reason...
And
you dig it. It's great.
Yeah, and Visigoth, too. I've heard them, definitely. And, I know that the one record I did hear a few years ago is great. And Jason kind of, he kind of took the Visigoth thing and ran with it.
Yeah.
When it comes to the three of us, I need to get more, caught up on them, too.
Yeah. And then it looks like Primal Fear and Bad Wolves were also on the list. And we talked about both those in the episode. And then John Stowe chimed in and said that Alice in Chains definitely should have made the top 5 of this list, in my honest opinion. And we talked about that, of course, on the last episode. And, I replied to that comments. And then Luke Nagel said the Night Flight Orchestra is badass.
And they are.
Yes. And, there's a few other things, but just figured I'd give those guys a shout out. And
shit, yeah.
if you haven't listened yet, episode 203, our top 18 plus a ton more.
Do it.
It's like a 2-hour journey, but that's how they usually are.
It's an extravaganza, and you'll love it.
Yeah.
We've got the Mikey Hernandez benefit we need to talk about.
Yeah, this benefit Music to Mend Mikey is coming up here in just a little over 2 weeks. Recently announced it's January 20th at the Venue Shrine, and this is to benefit, help with medical costs and everything for Mikey.
I think it's the 19th.
Oh, that's right. I'd put down 20th. That's the day of COC.
Yes.
It's the Saturday night, January 19th. So you've got a full weekend of rock and roll here in the Oklahoma area.
That's going to be a busy fucking weekend for us.
Yeah. You've got Metallica the 18th. You've got this Mikey Hernandez benefit the 19th. And then you've got Corrosion Conformity at Crowbar on the 20th in Oklahoma City.
I know.
Mikey was in an accident and lost one of his hands. And that's horrible enough.
Definitely.
But the guy is a drummer.
Yes.
So that makes this even more.
And a great fucking drummer, by the way.
Yeah, he is the drummer for Doxy. And we talked about him before on his podcast. And of course, we had Kevin and Tom from Doxy on, and they talked about how great he was as well on that episode. So go back and check that out. But he's, said on Facebook, he vows that he's going to make this happen, and he's going to be playing drums. And I know Doxy, of course, is taking a break right now, of course, while this is going on. And, we'll see what comes of this. But in the meantime, get out there on the 19th. It's $5 to get in, or you could throw down 10 or 15 if you want to give a little bit more money to help out. Whatever you can do, basically.
Definitely.
It'll be a great night of music, and I'm sure by the next time we talk to you, we can give you a list of some bands that are playing.
That's right. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah, so definitely make your way out there on the 19th to the Shrine.
So I want to get into something here for a minute.
Okay.
This past, I've been on vacation. I don't even know what day it is, man.
Yeah, I had that at the top of the list, and we just started going on about it.
Well, yeah, I know but I guess this past New Year's, I saw not New Year's, the day before, which was like Monday, Tuesday, I don't know.
The day before.
What's today? Wednesday.
It was the 30th, so that was Sunday night.
Sunday night. Mel and I saw Old Crow Medicine Show in Nashville, which was kind of part of our, we had time off, so we went down to the beach in Alabama. We came up to Nashville and, and I just wanted to say, it was a good time for me to get away. My main man, my best friend, my dog Merc passed away on Christmas night. And, I say this because to some it seems kind of cheesy. And I was always one of those people, like, I love dogs. I love my dog, but like, they're dogs, you know what I mean? And because some people, I think, go like way overboard sometimes, fucking, I've seen people like have, give their dogs their own room, and, carrying them around in a fucking purse and shit. But,
you tried to carry Mark in a purse.
Oh, fuck. That would have had to have been a big fucking purse.
Yeah.
And he would have shit in it, which would have been awesome. So anyways, but, and he even made an appearance or two on this podcast.
Yeah, a few times.
Yes,
in the background.
In the background. And, those times where, we'd have cookouts at your place and, even some of the guys and bands around town, he'd always put a smile on people's faces because he was a goofy fucking basset hound. And, he had a great personality and you don't really, you kind of realize, but, faced with the reality of having to put him to sleep, I fucking bawled like a baby. I cried like a baby back bitch, because, and then you really get it, these are like fucking kids to you.
Yeah.
And so, shout out to Merc. And it was a great way to get away and just kind of numb that fucking thing to get away and see this band and get out of the state and stuff. And Old Crow Medicine Show put on a hell of a show. Going back to what we said before, we talk about this band and a few other bands all the time that aren't really hard rock or metal. Well, they're not at all.
But they've got the spirit.
They've definitely got rock and roll spirit. They've even said they're like they're a rock and roll band with, old timey sensibility or old timey roots or whatever. And, there's no fucking way you could not see the show and not love it. And so I just had to kind of put a shout out to that. They played for 2 hours straight. They did all their popular songs and just the musicianship. If you're not even into this genre, but you can't deny, there's guys that are playing, like one guy will play a fucking accordion. Then he'll put it down for a song and go play the drums. And then he'll put it down for a song and go pick up a mandolin. Then he'll go to the keyboards. These guys, are musicians through and through. And it was just a great night. And, I'm always going to be a fan of this band.
Yeah.
And even though this is a metal podcast, we're always going to talk about them.
Yeah.
So I know you love them too. So, if people don't like that, fuck them.
Right. Yeah, I saw the set list from your show. And they open with Child on the Mississippi, which is my favorite song on the new album.
Great fucking tune, man.
They didn't play Brushy Mountain Conjugal Trailer, which kind of hurt me. But, hey.
I know.
They probably don't play it that often anyway.
Yeah. I thought maybe there'd be more stuff from the new album, but...
I was kind of surprised it was more heavy on the previous album.
Yeah, but, they're supposed to be going on a super huge hiatus, so maybe they just wanted to get stuff from everything. But they played the next night on New Year's Eve, so maybe that was...
It's probably a different set.
Yeah. I can't find it yet. I'm sure it'll pop up, but... So there's that.
Well, let's play some music here, and after we play this song, we're going to talk about a show these guys are playing. But the band is called Vulture Wake, and this song is called Bucket. Bucket from A Vulture Wake. This band's kind of like a super group of punk musicians.
Yes.
It features members of All, Authority Zero, Good Riddance, Lagwagon, even Beasto Blanco.
Nice.
And they are on tour right now, and they were playing this week, actually, Friday night at Mercury Lounge.
That's going to be a great show.
Yeah, and not only that, as they're on tour right now with Bob Goblin, and then our good friends in Murderous Mary will be on this show as well.
Nice.
So this is definitely a great night of diverse music.
Of course.
And these guys are, as you heard in that song, a great solid punk rock band.
Yes, that totally scratches your punk rock itch.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great fucking song. I dug it.
And they're actually playing the next night in Oklahoma City, and our buddies in the Normandies will be at that show.
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, so check these guys out some more. Follow them on Facebook, A Vulture Wake. Do yourself a favor, get out there to Mercury Lounge Friday night.
Yes, we will see you there.
Yes.
That's for sure.
All right, something else that is going on now. Well, it's been going on, but as of January 1st, the voting opened for the Tulsa Music Awards from We Are Tulsa Music.
Yeah.
And you can vote from now until January 31st. You just go to TulsaMusicAwards.com. There's like 30 categories. If you're skimming through there and you don't know some of the genres, you don't have to vote, or you can just vote for whatever sounds cool, whatever floats your boat, I guess. And if you're from out of the area and you're listening to us, hey, we appreciate your vote. You just go on there. We're category number 11, which is Digital Media Outlet of the Year.
Yeah.
Which is sponsored by Total Communications. So, yeah.
Please vote.
Do us a favor and vote. There's many people and bands that are in the finals here that have been on this podcast or that we played. Like Fist of Rage, Driver, Down for Five, Screaming Red Mutiny, Sprout the Anti-Hero, Steve Murdoch. The Ideal Ballroom is nominated. I shouldn't have started listening because there's the Normandies. I don't want to forget people, but Weston Horn.
Yes.
All these people have been on the podcast, and I know there's a ton more that I haven't listed. But,
and you're forgetting them now, and you're a bastard.
Yeah.
It's all Trent's fault. Don't look at me, everybody.
Well, you're not chiming in. You're not chiming in with you.
Because I don't want to forget somebody, and then
13 minutes.
I'd just rather the blame go on you.
Okay, thanks.
I make it easy for myself, people. What can I say?
Right. But yes, like I said, you can go in there and you can vote once per device. So vote on your phone, your computer, your mom's phone, your sister's computer, whatever.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. We appreciate it, and it helps support the scene.
Yeah. Go get your grandpa's flip phone with the gigantic buttons.
Yeah.
What are those called? It's like some old school name. I don't know. But
yeah, but those don't have. You can't log onto the internet with that.
That's right. Man.
The BlackBerry might have been the first thing you could do that with.
Well, go find one of those. Okay.
Well, speaking of that, you can also buy tickets now as well at TulsaMusicAwards.com. And they're only $20 right now. In a few weeks, they go up to $25. So get in there quick. And just this past Wednesday, yesterday basically, Roger from We're Tulsa Music, Ryan, who was also one of the co-founders of the Music Awards from Mugen Music.
Yes.
And then Sprout, the Anti-Hero, we're all three on Good Day Tulsa, on Channel 8 here in Tulsa. And Sprout performed a couple songs.
Yes.
Or 1.5 songs, because he got the credits to cut off that next one.
Kind of on the outro.
Yeah. And, Roger and Ryan spoke about the event. And they mentioned on there that all the proceeds were going to Make-A-Wish, which was really cool. And they also announced on the episode of Good Day Tulsa that Skytown, the Normandies, Weston Horn and the Hush, and Screaming Red Mutiny will all be playing at the event.
That's awesome.
On March 9th. And they've also got a couple more bands that they're going to announce as well.
Definitely. And Sprout did a great job.
He did.
Yes.
He played his single Forward, which we've played on here before. And he's been on here several times, and he will be on here again soon enough.
I hope.
So look up Forward by Sprout if you get the chance.
Yes. And we need to have Roger and Ryan on sometime soon to talk about all this stuff.
Yeah, I know we spoke several months ago to Roger about doing that. Just haven't made it happen, but we will.
Yeah, we'll
obviously
do it.
Before March 9th.
Yes.
But yeah, once again, TulsaMusicAwards.com. Check it out. We're going to play some more music.
Let's do it.
All right.
What do you got?
We got our buddies in Sign of Lies, and they just debuted their new track with Devin on vocals called The Truth. The Truth from Sign of Lies. They just dropped this thing. I believe it was New Year's Eve. The video is out as well. So go to YouTube and type in Sign of Lies, The Truth. This is the first official studio track they've released with Devin on vocals. And they've got an EP coming out here in February. So be on the lookout for that as well. But these guys are, we've talked about many times, great band. And Devin's just kind of enhanced that as well, I think.
Yeah, you know, I know they were looking for a singer, and they definitely found a great one. now, and full steam ahead for these guys. They've got a great heavy sound. This video's cool. There's been a few artists this past couple years that have made videos around town and that have looked really cool. Sometimes local bands doing videos seems a little sketchy sometimes, but these guys pulled it off, and it's such a great vibe for the song, and it's a good intro for this band. They're young, they're hungry, so let's see what they can do.
Yeah. And their drummer, Chase Dane, recently stepped down from the band after he had announced it several months ago, but his final show was in Oklahoma City when they opened up for Puddle of Mud and Tantric.
Yeah.
And I don't think they've announced a replacement. I don't know.
I think they said that he was going to stay on for a few more shows.
Oh, did they?
Until they just find somebody.
Oh, okay.
That it seems like, you see so much shit in your feed.
Right.
Sometimes you wonder, that's like that's the kicking the balls about social media. Sometimes you wonder, did I read this? Where did I read it? Right. Am I fucking going crazy? So, don't quote me like 100%, but it seems like I'm sure, as a fucking, an outlet, we should, confirm that shit. But
right.
Also, this is a podcast we're just kind of discussing. So,
yeah. Well, the thing is,
whatever.
If he stepped down or if he's going too soon, whoever takes his place has some pretty big shoes to fill, because this guy...
Yeah, this guy can play some fucking drums.
Yeah, and he's got such an energy that, you only see on occasion from drummers. When you look at guys like Zoltan Chaney or RJ from Hellstorm that just really put everything into the way they're playing.
Exactly.
Jason's exactly like that.
So, I mean, if you're going to hit this band up, if you're a drummer, make sure to, come correct for sure.
That's right. But yeah, check out Sign of Lies, give them a follow on Facebook, and be prepared for this new EP that's coming out next month.
Hell yeah.
All right, is it Junkyard time?
I think so.
We talked about this show on our LA Guns episode, 202, but we didn't talk much about Junkyard because we knew we would be doing this episode later.
Exactly.
If you have not listened to episode 202 with Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis, do it, because it is a great episode. And this one, we also had, at the same show, we had the chance to sit down with Junkyard. They opened up for LA Guns. They did a run of dates with them. Like you mentioned at the top, it was a bucket list band for both of us.
Definitely.
To finally get to see them live and as well have them on this podcast. And they did not disappoint in the least.
No, not at all.
They're just a fantastic band that was so underrated during that period.
Yeah.
And still to this day.
Oh, I think so. I mean, if it's just they had that whole, sure, there was tinges of the 80s melodic hard rock, but there's also, heavy blues, heavy southern kind of feel, these guys.
Almost punk tendencies at times.
And then you've got like a punk thing sometimes, and it all works out. It all makes sense. And I think that has a lot to do with where they're from, and their influences. And it just came together to make such a great sound, just this band should have caught on way more than they did. But in any case, that doesn't matter. They still have a great legacy. They can still play shows. They go overseas. They're very deserving of what they're getting right now.
Yeah. So I'm really happy to see that
they're still making great music.
Yeah.
High Water is a great fucking record.
Yeah. From 2017. And they've mentioned it on social media, and they mentioned it here in this interview to us that there will be new music probably in 2019.
Can't wait.
Yeah. So these guys, I'm really glad to see that they're back more active, because it was not just sporadic shows. This year brought them I think I saw a Facebook post where they said 39 shows or something.
Yeah.
Which is a lot more than Junkyard had previously been doing.
Exactly.
And so the fact that they're back more active is great. I think they played the Monsters of Rock cruise. They do a lot of these festivals, and they're, like you mentioned with their sound, it gives them the ability to open for someone like LA Guns.
Mm-hmm.
They could go out and open for Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Or the Rolling Stones.
Exactly.
And then they went overseas and opened up for Blackberry Smoke.
Exactly.
There's a few small chunk of bands that you could say could do that.
Yeah.
And it's just not common that a band can cross barriers like that and it work,
Exactly. I mean, they were killer to talk to. These guys are down to earth. They're professional. And you get a lot of good insight here in this interview.
Yeah. And such a great set at the IDL. They pretty much hit all the points you wanted to hear.
Yeah. And it sounded great. It sounded like you wanted them to sound.
And they got a good, decent, it was probably like an hour-long set.
Yeah, yeah.
So there wasn't none of these shenanigans where LA Guns is like, you get 35 minutes, none of that BS. LA Guns knows what's up and let these guys do their thing as well. So it was a great night of rock and roll.
Exactly.
I think it's time to get into it.
Roll it.
Here's David, Patrick, and Todd from Junkyard. You guys obviously been doing a lot more shows in the last couple of years since the album came out. So is that a trend that's going to continue here in the next year or two, you think? Or?
So far, we got one show book for 2019, so we're one for one.
No, there's going to be more.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more. We're working on a new release for 2019, and along with that will be more shows, and going to go back overseas again, probably in the summertime. So, but a lot of more fly-ins, and apparently we may be playing a lot more with some band called LA Guns.
Okay.
There you go.
You're going to glom onto those guys.
Yeah.
To ride their coattails.
Milk it.
Right.
Well, that was kind of one of our, now that High Water is out a little bit and you're kind of on new music, how do you look at High Water? Does it change, or is it?
It's kind of, High Water, what was it, 27 years between releases? Mm. So, it took us, David had a lot of things to say in 27 years, so.
Hopefully the space between High Water and the next release, he's got a lot to say, too.
Well, I only woke up like 10 years ago. So, yeah, we got something left in the bank.
Yeah.
In the tank.
A few more yayas to get out.
Well, on the new stuff, is it a lot of stuff from that writing period for High Water, or is it all new stuff?
It's all brand new.
A couple exceptions.
Yeah, there's
I'm
about two.
Make them record something that I wrote a while ago, but
just hopefully without the chorus.
Or the verse.
Fuck all y'all.
Did they not want to record it? Is that why you're going to make them?
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
Dave's going to be doing his solo poetry record.
Yeah, it's sort of a power trip. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Well, I'm the only OG, man, and I get...
The older we get, the more he turns into a fucking dictator.
That's so fucking wrong.
Such an asshole.
They know that.
Lead singer syndrome.
Bullshit. Such bullshit, man.
Or kid.
So what is it, Too Late Back for Junkyard, you're saying?
What, him? Yeah.
No, I meant that song you guys are talking about.
Yeah, I don't know.
What about it?
Is the new song too laid back for us?
No.
Actually, that's not at all.
No.
Okay.
Post-bench?
No.
Oh.
Domestic violence.
Oh, domestic violence.
Got the harmonica.
Oh. Well, I haven't even heard it.
It's like Junkyard, every song don't sound the same.
Yeah.
It sounds like Junkyard, but it doesn't sound like the same
we
thing,
can take
hopefully.
that to make it sound like...
Yeah, we could play it like Africa and, Junkyard it out.
Yeah.
Some people would have it all sound like 75 AC/DC.
No,
stuff that,
that's one of the things.
There's anything wrong with that.
No.
One of the things I just being in the band and not to, pat myself or the guys on the shoulder is that we kind of just do what we want to do as far as the way the songs sound. You've got like stuff that's, a waltz, like hands off, and then you've got something that might come across like Motorhead, and I like that. It reminds me of the old way of bands did things. Not one specific tempo, not one specific sound. It all ends up sounding like Junkyard because of David, but I like that we do that. That we're not afraid.
I think it has more to do than my voice. It has to do with the overall thing. It sounds like it's uncohesive, but it's cohesive because it sounds like us.
Yeah.
That's one good thing. Going back to like the years that we were on Geffen, they really weren't they let us do whatever we wanted to do. I mean, there was a couple things, like producer-wise, producer wanted to change a couple things around, but it was more like snip and tie stuff. You know, cut the verses in half, cut the choruses. But for the most part, we never had the label like tell us, no, you have to play it this way, or no, this song, you know, is too pop or whatever. Until the third record, we had a bunch of problems with the third record, but we were on our way out anyways.
That's why there is no third record.
We'll never make a concept record, put it that way.
Yeah.
There'll be no Rush 2112 side 1 for us.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe side 2.
Well, talking about your guys' sound, like what has Jimmy brought to the band that might be anything different from the past?
Cool facial hair. The weed influence.
Those are two important things.
Slide guitar.
Having Jimmy in the band, it's kind of like the guitar player that we always needed. And as soon as he got in and as a permanent member, which was basically the day after he came down and played with us, we finally had a core unit for the first time since the Geffen days, you know, and he melds in perfectly. His playing is just phenomenal, and his, you know, no drama with him. He just, you know, stick him in the back of the van with a joint and he's fine.
He's starting to create drama.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a McDonald's within a rock's throw.
But the good thing with Jimmy was definitely we were fans of all the bands that he's been in throughout the years with the Comatones and the Hangmen,
Rock City
Angels as well. So I mean, we knew of them even back in the day. So you know, having him play with us, it's just really bumped up the sound a lot better. And like I said, as far as like drama goes and stuff like that, there's no drama. Not that we had drama to begin with, but he's not bringing a bunch of baggage.
It's important that you bring someone in that, you know, isn't a prima donna, just gets along with the rest of the guys.
We're not big on audition. We don't audition people.
No.
I mean, we will audition a couple people, but we always know who they are to begin with. It's not like, you know,
it's more getting together and jamming.
It's not like an open call. It's never an open call.
We'd rather have people that we either know personally or know about enough to know that we're, you know, we swim in the same stream, you know?
Yeah.
What?
Piss in the same toilet.
You know, it's good that you can keep that sound even though you're still changing members. And that's important.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I mean Jimmy's sound is just it's perfect with us.
Well, he grew up listening to the same, you know, crap we grew up listening to, and he's like one of the boys.
Yeah,
and we don't want to change members. Possible, you know, it's just a necessity. I mean, I think Pat and Todd are almost on their way out. But
it's my farewell show.
I've been working on my solo project for 30 years now. Finally got my songs together.
How's your solo project going? Well, solo.
But there's something to be. I mean, the more you change members, the more it waters down the integrity of the core thing. I think, and the fans feel the same way. They want some continuity. They want to see, you know, Vinnie Vincent one year and. Who do we have after Vinny?
That would be Vinnie Vincent's. Yeah, exactly.
Mark St. John.
And then we had Jill St. John from like Heart to Heart.
I agree with David. It's really important that there's some sort of continuity of the band, and the three of us, you know, I mean, I came in 91, but I mean 91. Hell, how many years ago was that?
He's a newbie.
Yeah.
Well, me and Todd have played together in bands since we were kids, but Todd's also filled in even before we were on Geffen. Todd filled in for our bass player because he had to go away to prison, and but Todd has always been the go-to guy. And even when the band formed and everything, and when I was talking to Chris Gates about it, Todd was always Todd, and then it just turned out that Todd was in a couple other bands and couldn't play at that time. So, and basically Todd was in the band. It was like late 1990, 91.
Yeah.
So, because we basically had to split with our old bass player because he was going through a bunch of prison issues.
Pawn shop problems.
Yeah. All of a sudden there was stuff missing from our equipment locker, and it was like, wait a second, And then when he started showing up to rehearsal without a bass, and that got a little, and 3 hours late and high as a kite, I guess, Maybe we should think about getting rid of them.
Well, do you guys have a timetable set for the new album?
We're hoping like
First half of 2019, like
April, May, hopefully.
Okay.
You know, we're gonna. I think we may start. We've got about, I think, 9 or 10 songs, like ideas that we got to start. So probably we'll start recording in mid-January. Do some pre-production, which is basically us at a shitty rehearsal studio in Van Nuys, drinking a bunch of beer, talking to each other, and then maybe playing a couple of new songs.
You don't want to overthink it.
Yeah, the more you overthink it, the more you just fuck it up.
That's the Junkyard way.
We'll talk about Till the Wheels Fall Off of Charlie Starr, how that came about. That's a great song.
That Brian Charlie knew Brian, or Brian I guess was a fan of Blackberry Smoke, and he went to a show and started talking. You know, he got backstage or whatever because he's Brian Baker, and he was they were shooting the shit, I guess, and I guess Charlie said he wanted to write a song for the band.
Well, Charlie told Charlie. I don't mean to interrupt, but Charlie was telling Brian that when they were younger, that a lot of the guys in the band were totally into Junkyard, and he kind of fanboyed out on Brian, and he had a song that he thought fit us. You know, lyrically, he thought that fit us, that sentiment fit us, and so they just got together, and then I was like, wow. But I heard about it, and then when I heard this song, I was like, oh, this is great. It's fucking. But yeah, that was quite an honor for us. Definitely. You know, fucking someone like songwriter like Charlie Starr to
Charlie
think about us.
He was really great. Like we went to, after we recorded the record and everything, the Blackberry Smoke played in Hollywood, and we got to, you know, finally, you know, 3 or 4 of us got to meet him, and he started telling us stories like when he was a young kid. We were playing. It was the tour that we did that had the Black Rose opening up for us, and Charlie had snuck into the Atlanta show because he was underage. So he snuck into the show, and he saw us. And then as he was walking out, he went by the merch stand and stole a T-shirt and ran out. And then the very next day, his dad made him mow the lawn. And he had the shirt wrapped around his belt buckle, and it turned out that the fucking shirt went right underneath the lawnmower and ripped it all apart. But Charlie, when we were talking to Charlie about it, like Charlie and the drummer Brett and guitar player Paul, they were all like fans of ours. They were also like younger, but they couldn't get into the show. They couldn't get into the shows that we played because every time we played Atlanta. It was always 21 and over, so they were just like 16, I guess, at the time. So.
Fast forward 30 years, and we got to open for them in England.
Yeah,
where they're like,
that was amazing. It was really cool.
Grateful Dead, the way people travel around to see them.
Yeah,
we pissed a few of their fans off.
We played. We did. We just got back from the UK. We did 4 shows opening up for them, and then we did 6 shows on our own. So it was. It was great. I mean, they treated us like royalty, and we played in front of a lot of people. And I think we made some fans. Some people were just like, you know, what's this? You know, but
their fans either liked us or didn't like us with equal enthusiasm.
Yeah, right.
Do you enjoy playing shows like that, where it's a different crowd you're opening up for, that kind of thing, or is it? Obviously, would you rather?
It's probably rough. I mean, David really. I mean, it's really it's got to be tough on you.
It's challenging, but I mean, you just do what you do. You can't tailor the set or tailor your fucking performance to please people that might not be into something that abrasive or whatever. You just gotta do what you do. Some people are gonna like it, some people ain't. Running up the flagpole, see salutes, you know. Just take advantage of the opportunity, and you're gonna win some fans. You're gonna make some enemies. Who fucking cares?
Yeah. Well, your sound's always afforded you the option to do that, where you could open up for Blackberry Smoke or LA Guns or anyone in between. Yeah. So I mean, it's
any old way.
Yeah, I mean, is that when you guys developed your sound early on? Was it just natural, or was it something we want to do something that kind of crosses some boundaries?
It just came out the way it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, we were at the time. You know, we all come from hardcore punk background. Not hardcore in the sense of, like Black Flag, but I mean, we're just all punkers. We were raised
Punk sensibility, punk approach.
But we played in punk bands, but at the same time, we were listening to Ted Nugent and AC/DC, and fucking the Stones, and country music.
We listened to something before punk rock happened, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that was,
exactly,
AC/DC, like you said, all those bands. And then you get a little older, you want to piss your parents off or whatever. And punk rock gave you the avenue to fucking get in a band, learn how to play.
Yeah,
Those guys, those bands that I mentioned before, you go see them in concert when you're 13 and they're on fucking stage and they look like they're like up there and you're down here, and how do I get
they're
there?
Like untouchable.
It's
How do you get
untouchable.
to
They're
that?
fucking icon. They're on a pedestal that you can't reach. Punk rock, you're sneaking in the clubs, you're going to all ages shows, and these guys are playing. They're only a year or two older than you, and they, some of them can play kind of, but it made it accessible.
Yeah.
It made you go, well, fuck, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yeah. And plus with punk rock, I mean, it was such a, especially early 80s, like, 1980 through 83, it was such a tight-knit community. So when you went on the road, like for me and Todd, we were in a band called Decry. When we went on the road, it was like, you'd go to each city and like other bands would help you out getting shows like Corrosion of Conformity and bands like that. So it was kind of like, to book a tour, you just hook it up through your friends that were in other bands, and if they couldn't play the show, they would make sure to point you in the right direction. And still to this day, I don't understand how we booked shows or booked a tour back then with no cell phones, no phones with maps or anything like that.
Yeah.
No navigation. We would just drive to this. I mean, we knew that we were playing, say, Tulsa, Oklahoma, or whatever. So we would just go to the local record store. And then they would tell us that's where the venue is, and then we would start advancing shows from there for the next 2 or 3 cities. But it was,
and also, local. You're talking about touring the country, but in a local sense, people, the older bands, they encouraged the younger bands. There wasn't like a fucking competition or anything. Everybody wanted to see the fucking scene propagate.
Yeah. So, but the mix, I'm going back to your original question,
which was 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know, but it wasn't a thought out thing to that sound is just kind of
an influence of everything you grew up with, from AC/DC to Black Flag, and everything in between, or Johnny Cash, or Hank Williams, or Motorhead, whatever. Yeah. It's all there.
Yeah,
it's all rock.
Anything with fucking integrity, anything that's got a fucking pulse.
Yeah, it had to have some heart and integrity.
Well, you mentioned playing these shows, Deli Guns. I noticed you're playing drum set. Do you not obviously like it, but is that intimidating to play someone else's drum set when you're so used to something else? Or
nah,
I just clean it off.
Yeah, I leave a little green globule on the drum stool. No, not at all. It's
we didn't know each other then. We didn't hang out in the same circles then. They were always a few notches above us. We were trying to get where they were. We still are trying to get where they are. But we're colleagues now. 30 years has passed, and all the shit's fucking fallen off and gone to the wayside. There's a few bands left standing. LA Guns. Mm-hmm. We're still, second tier, down there scrapping away. And it's all good, man.
Right on, guys. We appreciate your time.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
There you go. David, Todd, and Patrick from Junkyard.
That was awesome.
That was pretty
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, really glad to get these guys on the podcast. A huge thanks to Carol from Status Global Management, to Scotty from Status Global Management as well. And, of course, a huge thank you to those 3 members of Junkyard for sitting down with us.
Of course.
Thank you to Doug Burgess of DEB Concerts for bringing in these amazing acts.
Of course.
And, of course, bringing in Sax in here in about a month and a half.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's going to be great. But, yeah, if you're a fan of Junkyard, there's a good chance you're a fan of that 80s rock era.
Definitely.
And we have had on many guys from that era, including Biff Byford from Saxon.
Tesla.
Yeah.
Kicks. LA Guns. Europe. Gene Simmons and Bruce Kulick of Kiss. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
I have not, but I'll look that episode up.
Great White, Taiketo, Trickster, Warrant, Firehouse, Bullet Boys. We've had all those guys on.
Lillian Axe and Dokken. And then outside of that, guys from Megadeth, Seven Dust, Black Star Riders, Hatebreed, Prong, Clutch, Shinedown, Death Angel, Overkill, Sons of Texas, Avatar, Drowning Pool, Nonpoint, and many, many more.
The list goes on.
Yeah. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground is where you can find them all. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, TuneIn, Mixcloud. Wherever you listen, like it, love it, heart it, and whatever it allows you to do. Share it, comment, leave a review. All that stuff helps spread the word. It's an easy way to help us. Another easy way to help us is to go to patreon.com, type in Thunder Underground, send us a few bucks.
Do it.
That helps as well.
Like Starship Records, you say, give us your money.
That's right. And that's it. And you can listen to us, every Monday night on WSNR 102.7.
Of course.
.com. I need to throw that on there, I guess. And then follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and all that great stuff.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I guess we don't have anything else to ramble about this time, do we?
That about does it, man.
Yeah. So yeah, once again, Friday night, Mercury Lounge, a Vulture Wake with Bob Goblin and Murderous Mary. And we'll be talking to you in the next couple weeks about the Mikey Hernandez benefit at the Shrine.
Yes.
As well as upcoming shows from... Oh yeah, another one is Blind Oath. Will be on January 10th. Where was that? Is that the Sound Pony?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the Sound Pony.
I think so, yeah.
So check that out. We'll mention that again next week. And I think that covers it.
Nice.
All right, until next time.
I love that song. We're not on yacht rock anymore.
Yeah, let's just spell yacht rock.
Oh. And they don't walk. So this is how it goes. This is really backstage.
Yeah.
This is how we roll now. Hey, keep that going, man. I'm gonna open that bottle of Chardonnay. We'll let it breathe about 15 minutes. What are you guys doing? Oh. Bye.
Thunder Underground, y'all.